it stops. So right now, here, let me put a distance on it, 40 feet in. So we're at the city pipe here. So this is not your pipe, this is the city. You can see the water flowing by from your neighbors. As I pull it back, that pipe right there on the left, that's your pipe. That's called the saddle, and that's where you have a big pipe in the city and yours kind of sits on it like a saddle of a horse. So the pipe is round, but when it gets to that saddle, it kind of goes oblong. So as you can see, that's the most expensive part to fix because you either have to dig up the street or go into the city sewer to fix it. But yours looks great. There's no issues with that at all. As I pull it back, this is a 6-inch clay pipe, which is probably original to the house. But from what we noticed, there really wasn't any problems in the pipe going into the street. But there was a problem closer to where these hedges are.
Yeah.
But of course we want to see the whole thing. So what I'm looking at is, see how there's a seam here where one pipe butts up next to another? Yeah. We're looking to see if it's been moved, separated, broken, cracked, any roots growing into that seam. So as you can see, it's pretty lined up pretty good, and those are every 3 feet. There's another one. I'm going pretty quick just because there's nothing to see.
Okay.
But as we get closer, you can see we're at 19 feet, 18 feet now. As we get closer to where we're at now, you can see a little build up here. There's probably a root intrusion on this spot here. But we knocked it down with that jetter originally, and that's what we're kind of showing you, is that the before and after. I have the before video. This is where the pipe goes from 4 inches. You can see it's smaller, and then it drops into a larger 6-inch pipe.
Yeah. What's that right there?
That's poop.
Oh. Okay.
This is a root. This is probably where you had most of your problems.
Okay.
Probably on near the sidewalk over behind the hedges. Once again,
how come that doesn't like keep going, like flush away? Eventually it will.
Oh well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You have water-saving toilets. Back in the day when there was 3.5 gallons of flush, it would take it all the way to the city. Now that it's a gallon, .28, you kind of have to flush it 3 or 4 times to get it out. So this is all clay, 4-inch, and you can see that this pipe is cracked here. This isn't a seam. This is a cracked line.
Oh, wow.
Roots were growing in there as well. And then this is the ABS pipe, meaning the newer pipe that's been replaced, probably from the house to here. So you ask, where does it stop? You can see this is my camera now coming up. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're going down, 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 and then it makes a turn into the newer pipe, and then you can see immediately turns to clay. So we're talking about right here. So like we talked on the phone, our theory is if we can dig down to this pipe, instead of replacing the whole thing, we would use what's called an epoxy liner. And that's basically a piece of material, like a sock on your foot. One side is cotton, and the other side is plastic. What we do is we measure the sides of the lining. This one would be a 4 by 6-inch lining. It's called a transition lining. It's kind of where it increases in size. We would fill that sock up with epoxy, and we would absorb the epoxy in that cotton, in that sock material on the inside, to make it 40 feet long, whatever that distance is. We would then dig a hole, expose the pipe, and take that sock, and like you would a sock that's inside out, we would turn it back inside out, like how you put it on your elbow. And what that does is now that puts the cotton on the outside with the epoxy, and the inside is plastic.
That's cool.
We shove it all the way in up to that saddle. We're not allowed to go past that saddle. At that time, what we would do is then take another lining material, which is like a balloon, put it inside of that, and expand it to where it adheres to the wall, fills in all the gaps and cracks. And it's one long piece. When the epoxy dries, we pop the balloon, we pull it out, and now you have a new pipe inside of an existing pipe.
That's cool.
And that solves all your problems.
You said it's like a stent, like a...
Exactly. I have it in my truck if you want to see the material we use.
Sure, that's interesting.
Yeah. Let me stop recording.
And that's like a...